No one ever believes anything I say. So, I mean, because they're like, you're a billionaire. I'm like, that's net worth. I have negative money right now. I'm borrowing money. That's how little money I have. Technically, everyone watching this video has more money than me in their bank account if you subtract the equity value of my company, which doesn't buy me McDonald's in the morning or whatever.
Over a span of a decade, a lot of people are very short-term sighted, but as long as you're innovating, adapting, reinvesting, I think if you do it intelligently.
Imagine like you're on 9 years, still no one gives a about your channel, and you're like, one more year, here we go, one more year, here we go.
Here's something that'll seriously make you think. The guy who used to yell at video games from his bedroom, the same guy people laughed at and called washed up, the same creator many dismissed as just being bitter, ended up being one of the few people who saw where YouTube was really heading. Almost nobody paid attention when he said it. Why? Because he wasn't wearing a fancy suit. He wasn't standing inside some huge studio or warehouse. He was just a regular guy sitting in a chair speaking straight to the camera like a normal person. But on today's YouTube, that kind of honesty doesn't seem to earn much respect anymore. That person was PewDiePie, and what he said about the platform years ago wasn't just bitterness, it was a warning that many people completely overlooked. It wasn't just a complaint, it was almost like a roadmap for everything that came next. Long before videos had budgets reaching millions of dollars, long before creators needed lawyers and full teams just to upload content, and long before YouTube turned into a massive business with warehouses, supply chains, and HR departments, PewDiePie said the platform was losing what made it special. He warned that the algorithm was slowly taking over everything. When he said big companies could eventually push individual creators into the background, people laughed. They called him out of touch and treated him like someone who couldn't keep up with the times. But that's the strange thing about bold predictions. Sooner or later, the future arrives, and when it does, the jokes suddenly stop, because the warning starts looking a lot more real. The platform PewDiePie talked about didn't just change, it kept moving in that direction. Then came MrBeast. That's where the conversation gets really interesting. MrBeast didn't just find success on modern YouTube, many people see him as the ultimate version of what the platform rewards today. It's like every algorithm trend kept building on the last one until YouTube became something very different from what many longtime viewers remember. To see why this matters so much, you have to go back to 2019. It was one of the biggest storylines YouTube has ever seen, PewDiePie versus T-Series. If you were watching back then, you probably remember the feeling. It wasn't just about subscriber numbers. It felt like people were choosing what YouTube was supposed to stand for. On one side was a single creator with a camera, a gaming chair, and a personality that kept millions of people watching. On the other side was a huge company with massive resources but very little personal connection on screen. Its uploads felt highly organized and polished, but many viewers thought they lacked the personal touch that made early YouTube feel unique. Right in the middle of all that excitement was a younger creator named Jimmy, better known as MrBeast. He went all in to support PewDiePie, running ads and even paying for billboards to spread the message. He stood outside in the freezing cold with a megaphone, shouting, "Subscribe to PewDiePie," as if everything depended on it. At the time, it truly seemed like he believed every word. It felt like he was standing up for something bigger than just one creator. To many viewers, it looked like he was supporting independent creators, real personality, and the idea that YouTube should stay a place where people connected with people instead of becoming a platform driven mainly by large-scale content businesses.
Over a span of a decade, a lot of people are very short-term sighted, but as long as you're innovating, adapting, reinvesting, I think if you do it intelligently.
Imagine like you're on 9 years, still no one gives a about your channel, and you're like, one more year. Here we go. One more year. Here we go.
But MrBeast told me I gotta innovate and I gotta be intelligent. Oh, my life is passed before me. I'm gonna die
so
alone.
close. I'm so close. One more year.
People loved him for it, and it's easy to understand why. But here's the part that many people don't like talking about. In the years that followed, MrBeast didn't just become a much bigger creator. To many viewers, he came to represent the same direction of YouTube that PewDiePie had been warning about. Not because of bad intentions, but because of how the platform kept changing. Large production teams became the norm instead of one person with a camera. Huge budgets started playing a bigger role than simple ideas and spontaneous moments. Many of MrBeast's videos now look less like casual uploads and more like carefully planned productions. Every frame appears to be designed with a purpose. Thumbnails are refined using performance data before they're published, and each moment is built to keep viewers watching for as long as possible. To critics, it can feel less like a personal video and more like a highly optimized production line. And to be clear, because this is
It uses real cheese. Theirs, as it says on their box, is mozzarella pasteurized prepared cheese product. They can't even call it real.
the part people often misunderstand that doesn't automatically mean it's bad content. That's not the point. The point is that it's become something very different, not just bigger, but different in its entire style. During PewDiePie's era, YouTube was unpredictable. It could be messy, random, and sometimes completely pointless. He might spend 15 minutes reacting to a meme that barely made sense and finish the video without reaching any big conclusion. Even so, millions of people kept watching because it felt genuine. Viewers felt like there was a real person on the other side of the camera sharing an honest reaction in the moment. That imperfect, unpolished, and unscripted connection was what made those videos special for so many people. Now compare that feeling to a modern MrBeast upload, where many viewers see a much more carefully planned and highly produced experience. Professional lighting, giant warehouses instead of bedrooms, huge production crews and massive budgets before the cameras even start rolling. It's impressive and the results can look incredible. But for many people, it feels closer to a television production than the YouTube they remember. And that's an important difference. Somewhere along the way, many viewers believe the platform shifted away from rewarding personality as much as it once did. Instead, bigger productions and larger operations seem to gain more attention. As that happened, the algorithm didn't just influence the content, it influenced how creators approached making it. PewDiePie talked about this for years. He argued that the system was pushing creators toward running their channels more like businesses. In his view, those with the biggest budgets and the strongest ability to optimize their videos would have the biggest advantage. Meanwhile, smaller bedroom creators, unusual niche channels, and people making videos simply because they had something they wanted to share could find it much harder to stand out. MrBeast didn't create those changes. Many people would argue that he became the clearest example of what the platform rewards today, and that difference is important. While MrBeast continued building larger productions, PewDiePie gradually moved in the opposite direction. He stopped chasing every new milestone, stopped trying to figure out every algorithm change, and stopped turning every part of his life into content. Instead, he chose a quieter and more private way of living. Less content, more control. PewDiePie seemed focused on building a smaller audience that chose to be there, instead of depending as much on whatever the algorithm happened to promote. Meanwhile, MrBeast kept expanding. What started as a YouTube channel grew into a huge business, with employees, warehouses, legal teams, Feastables, Beast Burger, and even large-scale shows with production values that rival major streaming projects. From a business point of view, it's an incredible achievement. Very few creators have built something on that level. But when a brand grows that fast, some people feel a trade-off begins to appear. As more time goes into planning, scaling, and optimizing every detail, the personal feeling that many viewers loved can become harder to hold on to. And when that personal connection starts to fade, people often begin paying closer attention to every decision the brand makes. That's where Lunchly entered the conversation. On paper, it sounded simple enough. A lunch product aimed at kids, backed by 3 of YouTube's biggest names, MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul. With creators that well-known putting their names on it, it was always going to attract a huge amount of attention from viewers and parents alike.
I like my cheese moldy, bruh.
It's so... Oh, it's so much mold. This is terrible. Oh my god.
It sounded clean, simple, and family-friendly at first. But once the product reached customers, criticism started appearing online. Some buyers shared reports and photos claiming they had found mold or spoiled food, while others questioned the product's quality control. Those reports quickly spread across social media, leading many people to wonder whether enough checks had been in place before the products reached store shelves.
Dan TDM replied. This is what he had to say. What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their lives? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better! Do better!
And suddenly, for the first time in a long while, creators at that level weren't just being celebrated anymore. They were being questioned in a big way. The conversation across YouTube changed fast, and criticism became much louder. Creators like Dan TDM and Jacksepticeye, who are widely known for their long-running presence on the platform, didn't stay silent. They openly shared their concerns about creators promoting products aimed at children after the reports and controversy. Their message reflected what many people were already debating online, that if a product doesn't meet expectations, using the trust built through a creator's reputation to market it to young audiences raises serious questions that deserve attention. Many critics argued that profit had started taking priority over responsibility. They felt that the audience, especially younger viewers who place a lot of trust in their favorite creators, deserved better. The reaction to that criticism became a major talking point because it highlighted how differently these situations can be handled. For many longtime viewers, there used to be a simple expectation. If you made a mistake, you admitted it, explained it, and tried to make things right. PewDiePie went through public controversies more than once over the years. His responses weren't always perfect, and sometimes his humor didn't land the way he intended, but he usually spoke directly to his audience instead of staying distant.
You can tell none of them are parents. Because you should not feed your kids that garbage. Like, what the fuck? Like, that meal is so tiny. It looks like it's enough for Björn, maybe. And he's 1 year and a half. Like, no. Who's it for? I don't get it. Is it a snack? Is it a meal? Very confused by it.
To many critics, the response surrounding the Lunchly controversy felt very different. Some viewers felt the focus was more on managing the public reaction than clearly addressing the concerns. Instead of hearing a message that sounded like, "We got it wrong, and here's how we're fixing it."
And of course, we have our snacks and our energy drink, none other than the greatest meals in the world. Lunchly, of course, we have the turkey, cheese, and cracker stack. Also the Fiesta Nachos, my personal favorite.
Love.
Some people came away feeling the conversation shifted toward the brand's success in larger picture. Whether that impression is fair or not, it reflects a broader concern many longtime viewers have expressed. Once audiences start feeling more like customers than a community, the relationship between creators and viewers can begin to change. The business can keep growing, and the numbers can keep climbing. But if that real connection between creators and viewers starts to disappear, many people feel something important is lost. That genuine human connection, the feeling that made YouTube special for so many people in the first place, is what some longtime viewers believe has slowly faded away. And then there's the debate around children and marketing, which many people see as a separate and sensitive issue. Many viewers believe there's an important difference between a creator who shares parts of family life naturally and using a child's appearance as part of promoting content, products, or a personal brand on a regular basis. Many critics argue that once that line is crossed, it becomes harder to separate private life from public content.
Maybe I should. Show her to the world, bro. She's here. Here's our baby. Brand new to the world. Here we go. Lunchly is now in stores.
Big life moments can start being viewed through the lens of engagement and performance instead of simply being personal experiences. PewDiePie often warned about YouTube pushing creators to turn more and more of their lives into content. Some viewers believe that when family moments also become part of a creator's public brand, the platform can begin to feel less personal and more like a business built around constant visibility. Maybe I should show her. Show her to the world, bro. Alright, so here's our baby. Brand new to the world. Here we go. Lunchly is now in stores. When an operation grows to include warehouses, full-time employees, supply chains, legal teams, and constant pressure to outperform the last upload, many people feel the role changes too. At that point, it can seem less like one person making videos and more like running a full-scale media company built to keep growing. At that point, it can start to feel like you're no longer just creating videos. You're running a system.
It's because people just hate us. That's it. People just hate us.
And I've come to realize now in my adult life that hate really is just a feeling of one's own inadequacy. You're dissatisfied with your life, you're unhappy, you're angry because your wife left you, or you suck. You might as well go hate on a cracker stack.
And systems are built to keep moving. They don't naturally slow down, stop to question every decision, or step back whenever something feels off. Their job is to improve, expand, and optimize. Many people believe the hidden cost of that kind of growth is that, over time, a creator's personal identity can become tightly connected to the brand they've built. When that happens, criticism may no longer feel like simple feedback. Instead, it can feel deeply personal because the creator and the brand are so closely linked. Some observers believe that's one reason public reactions to criticism can become much stronger than they once were. It's not necessarily just about ego. It's that when the person and the business become almost impossible to separate, criticism of the brand can easily feel like criticism of the person behind it. Early YouTube gave creators more room to make mistakes because most of them weren't running massive brands yet. If a video missed the mark, many creators could admit it, learn from it, and keep moving. PewDiePie went through public controversies over the years, and while his responses weren't always perfect, many viewers felt he usually addressed them directly. At that stage, the channel was still centered on the person more than a large business operation. As YouTube grew, many creators also grew into full-scale companies, and that changed the pressure they faced. Public mistakes could affect business deals, partnerships, and the people working behind the scenes. Many observers believe that pressure naturally influences the content itself. With channels like MrBeast's, each new upload often feels expected to be bigger, faster, and more ambitious than the last, not only because of creative goals, but also because of audience expectations, platform incentives, sponsors, and the large teams involved. Once viewers get used to spectacular productions every time, scaling things back can become much more difficult without risking a drop in attention. To many people, that stops feeling like pure creativity and starts feeling like a treadmill. A massive, expensive, high-production treadmill that never slows down. Years ago, PewDiePie looked at that direction and basically said, "No, thank you." While many creators kept chasing bigger numbers and faster growth, he seemed more interested in building a life that felt sustainable. As the platform pushed for constant escalation, he reached a point where he could simply say, "I'm good," and actually mean it. For many longtime viewers, that choice looks more understandable with each passing year because YouTube doesn't feel like the same place anymore. Some describe it as feeling less like an open playground for creators and more like a highly competitive production industry. The biggest concern isn't just how much the platform has changed. It's that many newer creators have never experienced anything different. For creators joining today, this version of YouTube is simply normal. Huge budgets, carefully optimized videos, and brand building can seem like they've always been part of the formula. Many may never have seen an era where personality often came before production value. That's why many people believe PewDiePie's warning continues to spark discussion today. It wasn't just about one creator or one moment, but about the long-term direction of the platform itself. Because his point was never that growth itself is bad. It was that growth without limits can slowly wear away the very things that made people love the platform in the first place. And here's the part many people don't like talking about. In one sense, PewDiePie gave up his place at the very top of YouTube. He stepped away from chasing the algorithm, other creators rose to the top, and the numbers clearly changed. But there's another way to look at it. Many longtime viewers believe he also escaped the non-stop race that now defines so much of the platform. He built a quieter life with his family, kept a stronger sense of control over his time, and no longer seemed driven by the pressure to make every upload bigger than the last. Instead of letting views or recommendations define every decision, he appeared to focus more on living life on his own terms. At the same time, many people see creators running massive operations, like MrBeast, facing a very different kind of pressure. Large teams, major business commitments, and ongoing projects can create constant expectations to keep growing and delivering bigger productions. With so many people depending on that success, slowing down may not feel like a simple choice. For many observers, that's the difference between controlling the machine and feeling responsible for keeping it running every single day. That can look like success from the outside, but it also comes with enormous responsibility. And for many critics, the Lunchly controversy wasn't just about one product. They saw it as a reminder of how much pressure comes with running a brand on that scale. When a business grows that large, a problem in one area can quickly raise questions about everything connected to it. The idea that the entire brand is beyond criticism starts to fade. Once that kind of confidence is shaken, rebuilding it isn't always easy. PewDiePie never expanded into that kind of empire, which meant he never had to protect one. Because of that, many longtime viewers feel he held onto something they value most, the sense that they were watching a real person instead of a carefully managed content machine. That's a connection audiences often recognize, even if they can't always explain why. People don't always notice the change right away, but many believe they can eventually tell when content feels less personal than it once did. That's why some of the criticism has grown louder over time. It's not simply because someone became successful. For many viewers, it's about feeling that the balance has shifted away from individual creators and toward large brands. From that perspective, MrBeast didn't become a villain. He became the face of a new era of YouTube, where the creator and the corporation can start to look almost the same. PewDiePie didn't become irrelevant. Instead, many people would say he became less relevant to a system he never wanted to revolve around in the first place. Depending on how you see it, that may have been the outcome he was looking for. That's why his old warnings sound different today. It wasn't necessarily about jealousy, bitterness, or struggling to accept that other creators had passed him. Many longtime viewers believe he simply recognized the direction the platform was heading before most people did. He often described a future where only the biggest operations would have the strongest advantage, where creative decisions would be shaped more by data, planning, and optimization than by personal expression. In that view, smaller creators with limited budgets could find it much harder to compete against productions backed by huge teams and enormous resources. Whether people agree with that perspective or not, it's a conversation that continues across YouTube today. The biggest concern for many isn't that new creators see opportunity. That part has always been true. It's that some may not immediately notice the pressure that can come with constantly chasing growth, bigger numbers, and better performance. Over time, some creators have spoken about how exhausting that cycle can become. That's why many people still point back to PewDiePie's warning. It's not because MrBeast failed. By many measures, he has been extraordinarily successful. It's because, in the eyes of many viewers, YouTube evolved in ways that closely resemble the concerns PewDiePie raised years ago. Now, every creator on this platform faces a choice. Do you build around creativity, or do you build around a business? Do you stay focused on being a person, or do you slowly become a brand? Do you keep the human connection first, or let the system take control? Those aren't easy decisions, and every creator has to answer them in their own way. Choose carefully. Many people believe that once a creative project grows into a massive machine, keeping control becomes much harder. At some point, instead of you directing the system, it can start shaping the choices you make every single day.